Programming note, do not adjust your sets. He'll be back later on this evening with the mayor. Yeah, Sid Bolton's in on a Wednesday. Welcome back.
Thank you very much. Good to be here as always.
The letters of the day are UPS.
Yes, UPS, and we're not talking about package delivery. Although, if you actually got one of these delivered, it'd be extremely heavy. Have you ever tried to pick one of these things up before?
So can you UPS a UPS? Can you UPS a UPS?
Well, you could, although that would probably be kind of expensive. Really, what's inside of that, UPS, of course, in this particular case, is an acronym that stands for Uninterruptable Power Supply. Now, I'm sure lots of people have heard about these. These basically keep your computers going when the power goes out. But I wanted to talk about the fact that not only is that important so you don't lose work, but there's actually even a bigger reason why you want to have one of these. And do you know what that is, Ted?
You don't know the depth of what I don't know when it comes to computers.
Well, they actually provide something else called power conditioning in most cases, which is actually really critical. Have you ever had kind of a situation in your home where the power kind of seems to just about go out?
I was going to say even distribution of power?
Yeah, well, those are called brownouts, right? And a lot of times they happen and you're not even aware of them. So, I mean, we notice them when things like our lights sort of start to dim and things like that. But brownouts can actually occur on a regular basis. And the problem with that is that it can wreak havoc on the power supply of our computer, which is basically like the heart and soul. So that's very important. I actually recently had a very important part of my network basically blow up because it wasn't on a UPS, because it was a switch actually. Wasn't a computer itself, but what happened was there was a power outage in Brantford last week, and it was for about 15 minutes for most people that were affected. And when the power came back on, it fried this particular device.
What is it frying, by the way, when you get that surge? Is it frying hard drives? Is it frying power supplies? Is it doing some other damage?
Well, usually what it ends up going through the power supply, and when there's a surge, so actually every time you turn something on, of course, there's a surge of power. And believe it or not, that surge is actually killing the device. And it's like anything, right? It's like getting up every day. We're all getting older, and eventually leading to a slow death. But with the computers, we can actually prevent that with one of these, because it basically normalizes those surges so that they're not as hard on the system. And it's the power supply that usually gets affected. The problem is in situations like brownouts, you have low points and you also have high points. And those high points are called surges. And when they hit the power supply, sometimes the power supply doesn't even stop it, and it actually goes on through to the components. And at that point in time, if that does occur, there's a very good chance that you're actually going to fry your motherboard or some other integral component in your system.
There's always been that thought that you don't unplug your refrigerator, so you leave your computer on all the time. You do your virus scans in the middle of the night, you do all those kind of things.
Right.
But you make a point in terms of turning off and turning on. If you're into saving the world via using less electricity, you're going to be, without the power surge protector, you're going to be turning that machine on and off. And
well, even if you do, when you're using the machine, there's nothing that's going to protect you better than something like this, because whether you have it on or, like, once it's on, if power surge comes through the line, what are you going to do? So an investment in something like this, and this one happens to be an APC one, and apc.com is the website. You can go find out more information about these things. But really, beyond the obvious benefit, a lot of people think, oh, I don't really need a power backup. If the power goes out when I'm using the computer, no big deal. That's fine, but everybody needs to have some sort of power conditioning. So that's the reason why I recommend getting a UPS.
Cost me what?
They can cost anywhere from $59 on the cheap end to $250 on the high end.
What's in here that makes it so heavy?
It's a huge battery. It's like taking your car battery and walking around with it on your back.
Somebody's got a sense of humor, by the way. An APC, UPC?
Yeah.
Okay.
American Power Corporation. And, actually, I like the name.
I'd have to ship at FedEx.
I love the name, though. Backups, right? Back UPS. Backups, get it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so you're on with the mayor tonight. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, and I'm going to move that there. Sid Bolton is our tech expert. Thanks for being here on a Wednesday.
No problem.
We're going to do it on a Thursday. The folks from the SPCA join us as always. Plus, we're going to get a little more information about the Who Knew campaign. Canadian Diabetes Association will be here as well because it's busy time for them. Thanks for joining us on a Wednesday. Thanks for doing it. Inside Brant.